We're going live.
And welcome back to another episode of the Ball Guy and the Fat Boy. I'm the Ball Guy with my buddy the Fat Boy.
Roll Tide.
And man, we're on like a little schedule. We got a little run going on here. I don't know if you noticed or not.
Yeah, and I even recorded another 5 minutes with the Fat Boy this week. I did a little backstory on my Dak hate and everything, giving a full picture of my Cowboys journey through the years and everything. So I think everybody will enjoy that.
Well, good. Everybody go check that out. I can't wait to hear about the Fat Boy's journey with disappointment from the Cowboys.
Yes, it's quite the epilogue.
All right, y'all look out for those because he's going to start just picking a topic and running with them. And we all know when the Fat Boy gets going, there's no telling where he'll end up. So,
Yeah.
so what do you want to talk about this week, Fat Boy?
Well, we were coming off a wonderful Olympics for the United States of America. Um, I I mean I don't have all the problems everybody else has with all the opening ceremonies, and closing ceremonies. I enjoyed the game and I enjoyed the athletes. I think us and China tied for on the gold 40 each. But
Really?
we but we had the outright goal, the outright medal lead. I think it was 100 and I think it was, I mean over. I mean, well, we were 100 and I want to say like 119 or something like that. But it was a just a good. It was just a really good Olympic Games for the United States, and it was really good Olympic Games for the Fat Boy and the Fat Boy's Mrs. Fat Boy, and we really enjoyed it. She watched her diving and synchronized swimming and all the things she liked. Uh, I think the only thing we agreed on that was kind of dumb was the breakdancing. And I think that's the consensus across the board. Nobody really cared for the breakdancing.
Didn't
So I
you
don't
used
think.
to be a break dancer?
Yeah, I did, but I don't. I wouldn't have been a breakdancer in that particular setting.
Okay.
And,
You never
and I,
like tried to qualify for the Olympics?
yeah, and not to mention the fact I was a breakdancer before I was the fat boy. I wasn't fat when I was a breakdancer, so
I think
there.
now they'd call it break rolling.
Yeah, well, yeah, it, and then they're making fun of that one person. I think it was from Australia or somewhere. They just got up there and did some really ignorant, just moving around movements. They wasn't breakdancing. It was more like they had Tourette's. Not to make
Did,
fun of anybody
didn't
Tourette's.
she say that her what made her special was her creativity?
Yes, yeah, it was bad. I mean,
Okay.
I don't know. It was
I
it
can
was.
honestly say I did not watch any of the breakdancing during the Olympics.
I watched a little of it and everything, but I see. I mean, of course, I seen that meme on the internet about her. It was just wasn't good. So I said all that because it comes around every 4 years. It's 2.5 weeks, but what it really did
Mm-hmm.
filled the void between between the beginning of training camp and the beginning of the regular season for college football, even high school football and NFL football, because all the NFL football we've had a preseason game since we were on here last, and all the football teams they're blowing and going.
There you go.
So and there. I mean, I've been watching the Hard Knocks on HBO, and the second episode. I don't know. I think it may come out tonight. Matter of fact, I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it prior to this recording, but I'll watch it after and report on it next week. It was. I mean, but it's about the Chicago Bears and Caleb Williams and all the things that are going on and behind the scenes with the Chicago Bears.
Okay, well,
Uh,
after the first week of preseason, we got to see all the rookie QBs, uh, kind of come out and make their first show on their debuts. What's your takeaway? Give me the top three out of this QB class.
Caleb Williams. Well, I feel bad for this. J.J. McCarthy would have been there, but now he's hurt. He's got to have surgery.
I mean, he
And
would have been there. They said he wasn't even probably going to be the starter, even if he was.
Yeah, and then the other non-starter that was real good was Michael Penix, but they got Cousins ahead of him. I don't just don't get me started on the bungling that the Atlanta Falcons are doing because it
I
does
don't
don't.
think they bungled it at all.
Well, okay, well, good. Of course you don't. Yeah, I mean, because I said they bungled it. That makes it automatically that you're going to say that they did.
No, I just don't understand why you think having two good quarterbacks is a bad thing.
I don't think it's a bad thing. It's just the way they did it. It's just a that gum strange. I mean, I just don't understand what. I mean, I just don't understand.
I think
Uh,
Atlanta's been looking for a quarterback ever since Michael Vick.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
I don't know
So,
that.
so hey, we signed a guy in free agency. We paid him a bunch of money. And when our draft spot come up, there was still a guy we thought had a shot to be somebody, our
Well,
quarterback
yeah,
of the future. So they know Cousins is a short-term deal.
yeah, but here's the thing.
What?
Uh, Atlanta Falcon fans are not going to give Cousins any kind of chance at all because as soon as he makes one mistake, Penix, oh Penix, oh Penix.
No, I think you're looking at Jordan Love with Penix.
Well, maybe you should be, but I don't know that you are because
Unless he gets hurt. Unless
well,
unless Cousin gets hurt. That's it.
yeah. But here's the problem: if Cousins get hurt, uh, they can't. They had to still have to pay him. It's just a bad. To me, the Atlanta got themselves between a rock and a hard place.
I don't understand why having two good quarterbacks again is a problem.
You just will hide around and see if you go all based off of your scenario. If he was to get hurt, Penix would come in and be good, and then they couldn't have. They can't. In my opinion, I don't think Atlanta can afford to leave that expensive quarterback sitting over there on the bench once he comes back healthy. So I just don't see it being a complete good situation.
I think they'll be able
But
to find a way to trade him if he comes
but
back healthy.
I don't have any stock in Atlanta at all. I'd take either one of those quarterbacks, the Cowboys, Cousins or Penix.
You're pretty worked up for somebody that doesn't have a stake in it at all.
Well, I'm just saying, it's just I mean, I'm a football guy. I consider myself to be a football guy. I
Okay.
consider myself to understand the dynamics and the way football, to quote Ron Washington, the way football goes. And I just don't understand. I just don't understand the logic behind what Atlanta did. I mean, to me, in my mind, it causes more problems than it does
Let me
solutions.
ask you this. Would you have felt the same way if Kirk Cousins had already been on the team for a year?
No, I
Hold on,
wouldn't
hold
have
on,
felt
hold on,
that
hold on.
way.
He'd already been on the team for a year,
I
signed the
understand
same deal.
that would have
You
been a
had
whole
your
lot.
veteran starter, and you're drafting the QB of the
That
future.
would have been a whole lot better. And yes, that would have made a big difference.
So what is the difference? He's on the roster for no years or 1 year. What makes that a bad decision this way
The
and not the
the
other?
the money situation of it, the fan
What
situation
about
of
the
it.
money situation of it? It's still, you're paying Cousins the same either way.
If Cousins gets hurt or he plays bad, they're not unless they just got money to burn. Pivoting to Penix after that will not be a good thing for the franchise as a whole.
Well, if something happens to Cousins, would you rather pivot to somebody that wasn't as good as Penix as they think Penix is going to be?
I see your side of it, but I
I
just
think that's just covering yourself both ways. You know what I'm
well
saying?
I
Where
it just gives yourself more headaches. You're inflicting pain on yourself for no good reason at all, other than the fact
you're
that
just
you don't.
worried about what the fans are going to say. I mean, they need to worry about how the team performs.
I mean, I want to say something. I mean,
Okay.
to me, the biggest thing that teams ought to be worried about is what the fans say. That's one of the problems. That statement is one of the problems with NFL football. They don't worry about enough about what the fans say.
I think there's a lot of people that would disagree with that, that a
But
lot of bad organizations pay way
yeah,
too much
let
attention.
me tell you, let me tell you one of my biggest pet peeves.
Uh-huh.
The normal fan like myself and like you,
Uh-huh.
the NFL game I mean, it's like it's like wishing to go to Disneyland or something. They have priced normal people. They priced me, Mama, and Mom and Pop Joe out of going to the Cowboys because who can afford the crap? That's why I was so big into the league that you hated, the UFL, because it was affordable pro football. Because there is no
I know
affordable.
it was affordable pro football.
Yeah, but NFL is a lot better football. I know what you're about to say.
No,
And
no, it's not what
UFL
I'm
is
gonna say. It's not what I'm gonna say. The NFL has priced herself out. I 100% know, right? I mean, tickets are so much, drinks, food, everything is so
parking.
expensive.
It costs over $100 to park at Jerry World.
Okay, all right. So 100%, it's too expensive to go to an NFL game.
Yes,
And what's the other league? The UFL?
yes, UFL.
Okay.
Yes,
So the UFL come in and kind of met a need there for people to be able to afford to go to a game, right? And open
yes,
those doors.
and, and yes, and I know that there's not as many people that go to that because there's not as many people that know about the
I,
product.
I don't I
But
don't I don't care about a bunch of people.
okay,
They come in and they created value and they gave the opportunity. Did you go to a game?
I didn't this particular
Okay,
season,
so
but I
what?
did.
So who
But
cares if it was
wait a
a
minute,
cheap game? You're
wait,
still not going to
let me
go.
speak. Let me speak. The last time that they were the iteration before COVID, I did go to a game at the ballpark at Arlington where the Rangers used to play.
Yeah, but
I
you
had,
got to support these people.
I had a hat from that stadium. I didn't, but here's my problem. Uh, the last time that they were playing before COVID, I had gainful employment. I had a job. I had extra money to go be able to go to a football game, even because it was cheaper. I still couldn't afford to go because I was broke. I appreciate you pointing that out.
No, I'm
That,
just saying,
that
with
I'm
the
a
economy
portmaster.
where it's at, look at where everything is. There's not a lot of disposable income to be able to throw this away. So if
Yeah, so
whether it's four
I
hundred
say my
dollars or $40,
I saved my pennies, and my buddy bought the tickets to the Stars game, and I got to go to that instead. So my point was, uh, the NFL ought to be there ought to be a deal where the NFL has to do some kind of food stamp deal, like for people under a certain make under a certain amount to get a prorated ticket
I
price.
don't believe that at all.
You don't believe that at all.
And I'll tell you something else too.
You don't believe the teams ought to accommodate the fans that can't afford 4,000 and thousands and thousands of dollars to go to a football game?
No.
Oh well, okay. Well, that makes you like the Grinch then. I
Like
mean, you're
the
on
Grinch? How's that like the Grinch?
because you're. I mean, the Grinch before his heart grew several sizes. I mean, you're
Oh
just
yeah. When it was
yeah. I
small?
mean, the bad Grinch, what the Grinch that went down the hill to Whoville, stole all the kids' presents and all the roast beef and everything, and took it back up to his cave because he didn't like Christmas. He didn't like everybody happy because he was all alone. I mean, that makes you the Grinch.
I don't think it
You're
makes me the Grinch.
because you're not out for the little guy. Even though you're a little guy, don't make no sense. You should. That is exactly the thing. Everything I'm saying should be. You should be on my side on this argument. And for whatever reason, other than just make for a good podcast, you're not.
What are you talking about? I guess
Being
what?
able to
Guess
go
what?
to a
If there's
being
one thing
able
you
to
know
go to
about me, if there's one thing you know about me, my view on the world is not some kind of hippie uh little resort here to where everybody gets along and everybody chip in and we'll take it. It's not socialism. I'm not a socialist.
I don't want it to be socialism.
I don't need a handout. You know what? If I want to go to a football game that bad, I'll find a way to save the money and get there. I'll go mow grass or whatever I need to do, and I'll go if that's what I want to do. But
well,
people are still going. The whole point of this is people are still buying tickets.
The rich.
Okay, well, if you have enough rich people to fill the stadium, why do they need to drop down what they want to do for you?
You're totally missing my point. What about all the Cowboys? What about all the Cowboy fans that aren't rich?
Watch it on TV. That's what the TV is for.
I used to go. This argument. I used to go to the old Texas Stadium.
I don't know why this is an argument. I mean,
well, because you're missing my point.
No, the point is you want somebody to hand something out to you. Market dictates where the price is going to be set, and guess what? They could still go up. People are still going to go.
Just because the market dictates, that doesn't make it right.
Yes, that's exactly what it
does. They're crapping on the little guy. Bad.
They're not crapping on the little guy.
They really are, Charlie. And you're missing
yourself up by the bootstraps. Come on, it is not. That should give you something to aspire to. You don't have the right to life, liberty, and the opportunity to go to a Cowboys game. That's not one of the rights in this country.
I understand that you don't have that right, but as greedy NFL owners and greedy NFL football players,
stop supporting the team. If you don't like what they're doing, stop. Well, I mean, you're a Houston Texans fan now, but
no, yes, but not for this argument.
But either way, stop supporting the NFL.
I don't want to stop supporting the NFL.
I'm just saying, if people quit going to the game, they will have to lower the price. The Cowboys were just valued at $10.3 billion.
They would be those prices regardless if people went to the games or not.
No, if the stadium was empty,
drop
the prices.
That's never going to happen. So you have to want to.
What do you mean that's never going to happen?
You acting like I'm asking for. I don't want it to be a handout. I just want it to be prorated, to be more fair.
No,
it's just the way they've got it set up now. It's just bad. Baseball is still affordable. Hockey is still affordable.
Kinda. I don't know where you think baseball is that affordable either. We get an indoor stadium and go to a World Series, and guess what? I have a family of 5. $35 is the cheapest ticket you can find, and then you get there, you got to buy a $10 helmet ice cream for each kid and all this other stuff. It's not affordable like it used to be. Nothing is. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Well, I believe the NFL is the only one that's priced the little guy out of going to a football game.
If you go up for the scarcity of the product, here you go. Another capitalism lesson. Scarcity drives demand. You only get 17 games plus playoffs, this or that, right? So you get 17 games in the NFL. How many games do you get in baseball?
162.
How many games do you get in hockey?
82.
So see where 17 means that the price should be more and they have to get more for that?
I understand what you're saying.
And if you multiply that out, I guarantee you it's still cheap.
But it still craps on the little guy.
It doesn't crap on the little guy. Quit trying to play the victim in this. You're not.
Well, my poverty class is. That's who I'm speaking for. I'm speaking for all the people that ain't got no money that can't afford that extravagant.
I'm going to say something that everybody else is going to think is heartless, and I don't mean it this way. But if we give everything to the poverty-stricken and they get to go to a football game and go enjoy all the other stuff, why would they ever need to work hard and accomplish anything to be able to enjoy stuff like that?
Well, you could still have a normal life and pay your bills and not ever be able to afford to go to a football game.
And there's people that live and have a great life and never go to a football game.
Yeah, just because they don't want to. I being poor, still would like to not be priced out of being able to go to a football game.
But that's all relative. And the market determines what the price is.
That's relative to you because you don't agree with the point where I'm coming from.
I don't agree with the fact that somebody should give you a break or help you out to go to a game.
About just me. I'm talking got a group of me, people like me.
No, no, we've been through this before, and you said
No,
that.
we've been through this before, and you were wrong then, and you're wrong now. The people, there are NFL fans out here that are unable to the mom and pop fans are out here not being able to support their team in the manner in which they can because they
Watch
can't.
them on TV.
That's all well and good. That's entertaining, but that's not going to the stadium and supporting your team. I mean, and I just don't guess you're ever going to get my side of this argument.
No, I'm not. Going to the game is an experience that has a value to it. And the market has dictated what that value is.
No, I don't think so. Yeah,
of course it does. There's people paying to do it. When people stop paying, they will lower the prices. So
no,
as long as people are willing to pay for it, that's the value.
Okay. We're never going to get anywhere on this subject because you vehemently disagree with me, and I vehemently disagree.
I'm a capitalist. I don't know what you want from me.
I'm a pragmatist.
No, you're not. You're a socialist in disguise.
I'm a pragmatist. I'm a guy that's out here that would love to be able to survive. It's cheap. Listen to this, and I'm being serious because me and the hockey intern have done this. Okay. It is literally cheaper to drive 17 hours one way and 17 hours back, pay for motels, pay for tickets, pay for food, and go to an Alabama college football game.
Okay.
Than it is to drive 45 minutes to Jerry World.
Okay.
We could go all the way to Alabama and all the way back with motel food and tickets cheaper than we can drive 45 minutes. And if you don't see why that's wrong and why that's a problem, then there's no sense even having this conversation.
Well, you're not comparing apples to apples. That's a college football game. You can't drive that far and go to an Atlanta Falcons game. So I don't understand. You're not even like keeping with the same thing.
Okay. I mean, I get what you think your point is.
I mean, if you want to save some money, you could drive to Waco, which is closer, and go to a Baylor game.
Okay.
And it's cheaper. You get to go see college football.
That's not that. I was only using Alabama as a for instance as my other favorite team. That even though you do all those things, they haven't priced the little guy out of that. That was what my point was there, Charlie.
No, see, here's the thing. What'd that cost? Roughly. Just ballpark it. Just ballpark. Figure out. I mean, what is it, like $300 in fuel?
It wasn't then when we went. Fuel was a little cheaper then.
Okay. All right. So $250 in fuel.
Yeah. And then
hotels, let's call it $100 a night.
Yeah, well, we a couple $100 for a hotel.
All right, so $450.
Yeah, so $500.
And then tickets to the game were what, $50?
No, they were cheaper than that.
Okay, all right. So let's call it $500. The problem with your scenario is,
okay,
there's people that $500 is just as out of reach for them as the Cowboy game is for you. So there is no sliding scale to where that gets to level out. So you think that's a better deal because you can afford that. So that puts you there. But there's some people where that $500, there's no way I could even imagine coming up with $500 to go do something like that because I'm struggling everything I can to pay my electric bill and my groceries. So now how far does that have to go?
We're just never going to get there, Charlie.
I mean, what the market dictates. There's some things you can't do if you don't have money.
Maybe we'll get some feedback.
I can't go to the Super Bowl. I want to go to the Super Bowl. I wanted to go to the World Series.
Maybe we'll get some feedback on what who people agree with more on because I don't believe that I'm wrong. You don't believe that you're wrong. So one of us has to
I
be.
mean, I just love America.
Well, I love America. What? But how did you get what I said? Uh, that makes me not love America.
Because I'm telling you, it's socialistic.
It's not.
It is.
It's pragmatism.
No.
Look up the definition of a pragmatist, and it
Look
describes
up
exactly what I.
look up socialism. Everybody ought to get to go do what they want to do.
No, I don't think so. I
We'll
know
all get the same thing and we all just
socialism.
give up.
You know
Just
what the other?
we all
There's
give
another
in
word for
different
there's
amount.
another word for socialism. You know what that is, don't you?
What?
It's called communist.
Okay.
And uh, I mean, yeah,
I mean,
no,
you want me to
no.
order you a Chinese hat or what?
I'm just saying. I mean,
I hear you. I mean, I just didn't want to call you a communist on the air.
well, I appreciate it, but if you're going to call me, if you're that's what you're going to do, that's what you're going to do. I just don't think that that's what I am in this argument. I think I'm a realist and a pragmatist, and you think I'm a communist. So I don't think we're ever going to get there.
Okay. All right. So on to other things now that we've discussed that
Well,
again.
I guarantee, if nothing else, it makes for an entertaining podcast.
I don't know. Well, everybody put in the comments down here. Let us know who y'all
Which,
agree with.
but yeah, whose side of the aisle you're on? I mean, do you feel like mom and pop's being priced out of the NFL experience, or do you feel like you ought to pull yourself up by whatever the hell a bootstrap is, your bootstrap is, and save your dimes and pennies to go spend $2,000 or $3,000 at the Jerry World? Just let us know which one way works better for you.
Yeah, we look forward to it. We'll have to touch on this again.
Yeah,
So
because it infuriates me. I mean, I would go to, if the NFL was priced like the UFL, I'd go to 2 or 3 games.
if the NFL was priced like the UFL, they'd have the same type of talent.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Okay.
But
Well,
either way, I thought we were moving on. Come on.
well, I can't help it. I mean, you're just so wrong.
Uh,
Uh,
uh, anyway,
anyway, okay. So after that,
yeah. So
baseball, the baseball as of yesterday, they were 8 out, and they got
yeah,
more people injured
I
injuries.
know it's
So,
fake.
so I think we're just I think we're looking at a
I was
redo.
already punting on the season.
I think you are. I'm starting to.
Yeah.
I I hadn't punted yet, but I'm beginning to warm my leg up.
Hey, I'm hoping that by the time they're out of it, there's still time for me to take the kids to a ball game and tickets come down a little bit.
Uh, yeah, because when they play bad, it's easier to afford tickets. That makes sense.
It's my ticket, my kid's first game. So I mean, we're gonna be in the nosebleed section. They're not getting nowhere down around the lower levels, and they're gonna go experience it the same way I did.
No, not the way we did.
Well,
Did
it's not gonna
did,
be hot.
did you enjoy? Did you ever go to the old ballpark before the ballpark in Arlington? The old
Let's see what when did the ballpark in Arlington get built?
94. Did you ever go to a game prior to 94 that you know of?
Yes, yeah, I did. But I was a
'Cause
youngster.
I remember going with my church group. We sat out in the bleachers for $2 a person, and we and buddy, I mean, if you don't know what a hot dog feels like on a grill, let me tell you, I do, because them metal bleachers, Jack, in Texas heat.
You come up
Uh,
with grill marks, huh?
what? Yeah, it sure puts you some grill marks on you. And watching Nolan Ryan throw 100, it was every bit of it was worth it.
There you go.
And one of these days, if when we do the podcast after dark, I'll tell y'all the rest of that story. uh, yeah, well, that I really don't. I'll tell on this podcast.
Okay. So we'll save that for another day.
I'll leave that for another day. But anyhow, no. So baseball is kind of other than Charlie taking his kids for their first baseball experience, which does even excite me because I can remember, I can harken back into my first baseball experience walking. I mean, I remember walking into the in '96, walking into the 95, 96, walking in the new ballpark
And
and
thinking it
thinking
was awesome.
it was so cool. It was so cool.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
as a
still
teen,
I still like that ballpark.
yeah, I do too. And as a teenager, I mean, the smells and the sounds, the ballpark in Arlington was a great place. There was only one complaint. There was only one complaint anybody ever had with the ballpark in Arlington,
Yep, and they fixed it.
and then they fixed it. It's hot here.
I
It's
know.
so hot.
You get into August, September, man, it is brutal.
Yeah, we get in the next week in Texas where we are right now. We got one over 100 every day this next week. I think one day is going to be 106 in the shade. So you just imagine going out to a baseball game in that. And
Yeah.
so I mean, all you do is sit there and bowl, boy. But it was still baseball.
Yep. Yep.
Anyhow, so and of course Mavericks are in downtime, Stars are in downtime.
Oh, oh, did you want to comment on golf at all here?
Kid,
Yeah.
I want to comment on golf.
You were pretty upset this week. You thought something was funny. So
I wasn't upset. I was amused, or dumbfounded. Maybe that's a better term. They played the Wyndham Championship this week, but it got delayed because of rain and whatever have you, because of weather. Well, they got to the final day, and everybody decided to quit playing because it got too dark. I mean, I know everybody decided not to quit playing because it got too dark, except for one player on Sunday, and that was Matt Kocher. Matt Kocher decided he'd already hit his ball on 18. He just he decided to come back on Monday and finish his hole out. He had no chance of making the playoffs, no chance of winning the tournament. He just came out with him and his caddy, I guess an official, and just hit up to the 18 green, no fans, no nothing, and it dumbfounded me that was his decision. I mean, he could just hit up there and do something. But I guess somebody did make one mention. I mean, if he had made a bad shot on that hole, it could have dropped his how much he got paid.
yeah, because I'm thinking if he had a birdie, I think he ended up parring it, right?
I think he ended up parring it.
Yeah, if he'd birdied, he would have made like 100 and something $1,000 more.
100 and something thousand. That was I see. That's the one thing I didn't think about was which we just got to discussing the big thing about money. I didn't think that one shot would be the difference between 100 and something thousand and not 100 something thousand.
Yeah.
So in hindsight, I kind of get it, but it's
Uh-huh.
in the initial
It's kind of like, why didn't you just go ahead and hit through there?
yeah, exactly.
And then
So
somebody wanted to bring up the fact that, well, he's also the guy that, uh, won $5 or $6 million or whatever in that tournament in Hawaii and paid his caddy 5 grand.
yeah, I heard that too.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
anyhow,
Oh, for as good of a guy as Matt Kuchar is, just remember if you do something shady like that one time,
out
people
of this
gonna bring it up.
best, but at least he's not on Patrick Reed's level. So
Oh yeah,
yeah. So
kind of
and
like
then
Patrick Reed.
I'm trying now. Oh, Aaron Wright.
Okay.
That's who won that tournament. That kind of got buried in the Matt Kuchar
Oh
thing.
yeah, yeah.
Aaron Wright actually won that tournament, and that was his first win. I mean, I watched him play. I was glad that he got his win, so I was glad for that. And then in the next week or so, I think the FedEx Cup tournament is going to start. So that's for decide who gets the $8 million for the championship.
Yeah. Did you see where Bryson DeChambeau played in, what was it, 4 or 6 events? They were non PGA, of course, so it may have just been 4, and he won $9 million. I think maybe it was 8, but either way, he's ninth on the money list
Yeah,
and playing on live, and
and
he's ninth on the money list.
Phil Mickelson. Did you see where Phil Mickelson in the live is getting relegated because uh, his play's been so bad. They're
No,
relegating they're relegating him something or something, and so he's going to take his ball and go home.
I don't doubt it. He still got his money.
Yeah, he still got most of his money, so it's just funny that he and now he's quitting on them too because he's not playing very good.
Yeah, he should have stuck to the senior tour.
Yeah, I think he should have stuck to the senior tour too.
But I mean, again, if they offered you $150 million, you'd probably go to.
Hell, I mean, I'm just offer me $150. See what I do. Much 50 million. So anyway, then I had mentioned the bull ride the team series last week.
Yeah.
I didn't have a result, but Florida, the team from Florida, won in Florida. And
Okay.
this week, that was not the case. Wait a minute. Yes, the team in Florida won it again. I'm pretty sure Florida won in New York this week too. So I think Florida's coming off back to back. And this is not individual. This is teams.
Right.
You've got you've got New York and two Texas teams, Oklahoma team, Florida team.
You know who's
And
on the Florida team?
I know one guy that's on the Florida team, but and he rode real good. That's John Krember, and he's an 18-year-old phenom. His daddy's the coach of that team.
Oh,
The older Krember is the coach of the Florida team with his son on it. So, and they've won in Florida, and I believe they've won in New York. That's what's coming to my mind, but I will say I'm not wrong about that. I've had a lot of information go through my pea brain. Um, so so I wanted to update, but the team series it's good, but it's a little harder to find, and it's free, but you got to go on your platforms to a thing called Merit TV. Would you like to know who owns Merit TV?
Who owns Merit?
Dr. Phil.
Dr. Phil.
Dr. Phil's network.
Huh.
They've moved some of the bull riding. It's on 3 different platforms. It's on CBS Sports. It's on Merit TV, and it's on Pluto TV. So you just kind of got to hunt and peck for it. But if you ever get into, I got into the team series during the COVID years, and it's highly entertaining. They get paid a lot of money, but they get paid a lot of money to do something very dangerous.
Oh yeah.
We're getting on a bull for 8 seconds, and getting off the bull for after you get on the bull for 8 seconds is very dangerous. So they earn their money pretty heavily, in my opinion.
Right.
You got anything else, Charlie or Bob guy? Excuse me.
No,
Are
no,
you
I'm pretty good. I mean,
Well, I hope everybody enjoys that we get on here and just tell it like how we see it, and just go head to head. I hope everybody enjoys that, because that's what we do when we talk normal, or when we have a normal conversation. We do the same exact thing. We're just trying to do it for clicks and likes and those types of things now. So why don't y'all click and like?
yeah, yeah, y'all come on, try to interact with us. We'll get in there. I am curious on this one. So, I mean, everybody like, subscribe, and leave a comment.
I'm
Uh,
curious too, but if you send the comments to Charlie, make sure you tell him to actually tell the truth to me when he's wrong. I mean,
hey,
'cause
you can log in and see that stuff anytime you want
yeah, I know I can. I can log in.
to. But all right, well, we'll see you guys next week.
Roll Tide.